In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the sub-assembly of the backbone and the seat frame. So remember, that's composed of 4 different pieces. Before I do that, though, I want to revisit this part number 211. So remember, there's going to be 2 of those. So one thing I did was, because the way I constructed this, my top plane was there, I offset a plane, so I have a mid plane for the seat. It'll just come in handy later, so I just did an offset there. Also, I'm gonna have to, when I assemble this, remember there's gonna be a tube that comes in through here, and I need a reference point back there. So I'm just thinking ahead. You can always do this as you're as you're assembling, but I'm gonna create a new plane here. Take an offset of that, offset of that one. And I can't remember what that number is. Is it 12 maybe? No. So let's look up, this is my layout that I put together to start with. So I'm wondering about having a place where when this tube comes in, I'll have a place to constrain it to. And remember, this was just kind of a sketch. It does have dimensions on it. If I add up those 2 numbers, it's about 9 inches. So I'm going to need a plane that's about 9 inches over. Let's see how that looks. So it's not 12. Let's try 9. Yeah, that's to the... Oh, that's to the middle. Now it may seem like I'm flying by the seat of my pants, but I kind of am. This is how I'm going to construct this, in the real world when I go to build it. So that's a pretty good number for me. Now your design is going to be different, right? I'm just trying to help when it comes time to assemble this. I'm going to have to constrain all these pieces. So let's see what other, let's turn that one on right there. Let me save that like that. Alright, so let's start a new assembly. So just do File, New Assembly, and let's insert components. And what we're going to insert is one of those pieces there. That's just how I'm looking at it, so I'm going to place it like that. Let's just start with one. Now your planes aren't showing up till you turn those on. Remember, in SolidWorks you have to go up to View, Hide Show, and you'll have to turn on the axes, and you'll have to turn on the planes. Otherwise they're not going to show up. So I know that I have those planes. I was just looking at that detail of this part. So that's the first one. Let's add the second one. Same part. Now I'm going to rotate it till it's close proximity, so something like that. And now I'm going to constrain those together. And the easiest way to constrain tubing is by using the planes. So you can always, what I usually do is I have my components, my models open, so I can come in here and turn the planes on or off. Or you can do it on your assemblies. You just come in here, so like this is, see the part 211A, that's the first one that I placed in here, and there's 211 too. So you can always come in here and you can do the same stuff. You can turn the planes on and off in there. It just gets a little cumbersome when you have a bunch of parts. Your part tree gets pretty long, but regardless. So the easiest way to constrain these or mate these parts is by using those planes. So if I mate, for example, let's mate that plane with that plane. Good there. Let's mate that plane with that one. So again, because of tubing, you don't have a lot of things to work with sometimes. So let's see, what do I have right now? Oh, okay, so I need to constrain it that way. So let's mate those 2 planes. Let's see, what do I got going on here? Try that again. There we go. I don't know what I did before. Okay, perfect. Now, there's a lot of stuff, right? I don't really need all those planes right now for the next phase of this. So I can come in here and just right click these, turn them off, or again, I can come over to the part tree. Let's see, probably gonna need that mid plane. I probably need that stuff actually. Okay, so let's go ahead and insert our other components. Now that's going to be part 210. And that's the left. 210 is the left tube, so that looks pretty good the way it is right there. And remember, I left those planes on, otherwise just turn them back on. Let's see, I do need some more stuff though. Let's open that part up. Because I'm also going to need that plane there. Let's see, that should be good. Okay, back to my assembly. And let's start mating these. So I've got this horizontal plane, and either one of these horizontal planes is fine. And don't worry if it doesn't do exactly what you want. Oh, I think I messed that one up. If it doesn't do exactly what you want, when you put the first mate on there, because it takes a couple mates to match it up. Okay, that one to that one. I want to line up those two. Yeah, I think I messed up that first constraint. That's fine. Let's back up. So let's take a look here. Now this is easy to see what's happening. Come down here on your part tree, click on this thing that says mates, and roll your cursor down here, and you can see the mates that are already in play. So that one right there, I'm going to right click and delete it. I think I fouled something up when I was clicking around. So let me try a different point of view. Alright, so let's mate those two planes. There we go. They don't see it move, I kind of get a little bit nervous. Now remember, we created this mid plane. That's the mid plane for that pair of tubes there. So that's what I'm constraining. I purposely left that on. Remember, I even labeled that as the left mid plane. So I'm going to constrain that. Oh shoot, wrong one, sorry. Now I know your design is going to be different. This one's a little bit overly complicated, but I figured if you can follow along with this one, should make sense when you're doing your design. There we go, that one. And lastly, I'm going to use the end of that tube to remember that plane that I put on there. That was to give me a reference so I can know how far to put that tube in. Let's see what we got. So see how that fits together? It fits together very nicely. And that's probably how I would build this. Okay, so I have that part of the backbone done. Now I just have to do exactly the same thing and insert the right tube and mate that using the same exact mates that I used before, and that would create that subassembly for the backbone. Save that subassembly. When we do our subassemblies, let's use a slightly different numbering system. It's still a frame, FRM 285, but let's use a 4-digit. So I'm going to call that 1001A. So it's going to have 4 digits. So anytime you see a 4-digit part, you'll know that it's some sort of assembly or subassembly.